You look so beautiful.
Now here's the kicker. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. You look so gorgeous. I'm just making sure that we're on right now. So that everyone can see us online. I did post links and stuff. I'm so excited. Okay, let's see. Okay, we are up. Okay, cool. Yay! Okay, so first and foremost, I just want to say thank you. I'm very honored to be working with you. I've been following you for some time now, especially on Instagram. And then I discovered you had your website up, and I did put that in the description below so that everyone would be able to find you and everything like that. So I'm excited for just this interaction. Everybody out there, happy Women's History Month. I'm going to try to pull up the chat because, like, when we're on live, sometimes everyone has questions and we just want to make sure that everyone can kind of, okay, there we are. That everyone, okay, there we are. Cool. Okay. Hello, someone's watching. Okay. So I have the chat up just in case anyone wants to come on. Okay. So first question. Tell me, like, from the beginning where your fascination with princesses solely came from.
Disney. It's all Disney's fault. When I was younger, we watched, Disney cartoons and things, and I am a fan of Disney, but honestly, it's just the Disney princesses. I think it was Cinderella that started everything because when I saw that you could be a good girl and you didn't have to have a lot and you could still be a princess one day, that I was like, I could be a princess, and that just started everything. Like, I love Disney princesses inside and out, and I think it was Tinkerbell, I think, was my first introduction into fairies, really. But the princesses, Disney princesses, started it all. And even though I love Tiana, I think Cinderella might still be like not my favorite, but she's the one who started it. So whenever I feel like a princess, you automatically think, I'm Cinderella. I have this big ball gown. Everybody's looking at me, sparkles and fairy godmothers and stuff. Disney got us all. Like, there's a certain group of us that we know where we know where it started.
That is adorable. I think everybody can really resonate with Disney because it was a part of all of our childhoods. I mean, even now, you and I both are moms in the human form, in the human realm, but I mean, Disney is very prevalent. So 100%. That's awesome. Okay, so next question is, what would be your inspiration in life? So it doesn't have to be specifically to one thing, so you can make it as broad as you'd like.
Mom, it's always
Oh,
mom. Like, when I grew up, it was just me and mom. I have a sister. Hi, sister. I love you. But when we were young, we moved out very, very young because my father left very young when she was in her teens. So we're
mhm.
about 11 years apart, and so it was very hard for her to come to terms with him leaving. So it was just me and mom, and she worked very, very, very hard, like to the extent where Disney was my escape. Like, I would see her working and think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can work 2 and 3 jobs to support, um, myself and another little person.
Yeah.
And but she never complained. She always looked her absolute best. Like, this was the kind of woman who was always dressed to impress, no matter where she was going, whether it was going to work or coming to pick me up from school or wherever. And she always told me, no matter how you feel, if you dress the way you want to feel, you'll feel better. And even when she was sick, sometimes she would just dress up because she knew it would make her feel better. And that's just where the costuming kind of came in the beginning, because sometimes I didn't want to get dressed, but I'd be like, well, if I wear something nicer, I'll look nicer. Like anything I do generally comes from my mom. Not so much the fairy stuff, not so much the princess stuff in theory, but she was my. She still works hard. She's retired, but if I can go in a little bit, Mom, I'm sorry for giving all your information, but major open heart surgery, and she's absolutely fine. Let me preface that. She's absolutely fine.
Perfect.
But in the beginning, people were very, very worried, like, oh, open heart surgery, and she was just like, I don't need any of that. I need positive energy. I need positive vibes. So if you're going to be worried, if you're going to be, oh, I'm so sorry, if you're going to come in here and cry, I don't need to see you until I'm healed. And it was amazing to watch her be that strong for something so scary. Like even now in her 70s, she's just like, she's my rock. Like she's my inspiration. No matter what life throws at her, she keeps going. She keeps pushing through. And sometimes, like, you may have noticed if you're following me, like I haven't posted in a month because I've been trying to work to get some human monies in so I can keep this going, you know.
Yes.
And I don't, but I didn't stop. Like I had to stop posting, but I don't stop this because it's who I am and want to be. And I've seen my mom, like no matter what all she ever wanted in life was a house, and she didn't get it till she retired, but she got it. You know, she's worked hard for everything she's ever done, and that is one strong Black woman right there. That is my inspiration for just about anything I need to do in life. If I need to look for somebody who did it, she did it. So
that's amazing. First and foremost, that definitely ties in with Women's History Month. I mean, just looking back, I think every woman can kind of think back to that woman in their life if they've had that figure, and just see the resilience that they overcame, especially when you come into adulthood yourself, and you're then realizing and kind of going back and saying, wow, like if I was in that situation, I would fold, but you know, that is awesome. Your mom sounds extremely resilient, beautiful, graceful. She sounds like a genuine, all around great woman, great person. So I have my grandmother. That's how I think of her. That's how I look at her. So that's awesome. I did want to know, can you give us a hint to where the Fountain of Youth is? And I mean, honestly, I won't tell the secret. Just could you give us a hint where it is?
That's a really good question. A lot of it has to do with, I think for me personally, when you're younger, if you're in your teens and 20s, don't wear makeup. Everybody our age, and I'm not telling you how old, is trying to look like you. You don't need any of this. Like for costumes, yes, but every day wear your glow. Wear your glow, because that stuff takes on your face. You go outside, it's awful. And in high school, I don't think I wore lipstick. I think I didn't wear makeup except for lipstick, because I just wanted lip color, but I didn't wear anything else. And then, as you get older, I had some imperfections, but I think when I smile, I feel better, and my smiles and the youth and the magic comes from kids. And I'm not gonna lie, because when I put this on, it's fun. And if I go outside right now, I'll get I'll get a few people going, oh, what is she doing? Or, oh, what's that about? But the kids don't ask, what is she doing? What they're like, it's a fairy. It's a princess. There's no like, oh, what's that? They know who I am. They know I'm a princess. And that makes you feel really good. Like when they say, oh, a fairy, not, oh, what is she doing? It's, oh, a fairy. And when you hear it, your body goes, where is she? You just want to give them stuff, read them stories, and do whatever that is to keep that there, because, it makes you feel really good to have someone recognize you for who you really are. And I really am a fairy. And I tell my daughter too, she's just like, yeah, Mom, okay. And I'm like, but you're a fairy too. You're half fairy, woman. You're going to know. But I think it's the kids. Because when kids see it, they don't, it's getting harder too. They grow up so fast. They've got so much technology. That's where their magic is. technology and the handheld stuff. And you can look
Yes.
away from
Oh my
see it in
gosh.
front of you, believe in your heart of hearts that that is that magic, that that is who she says she is. That's where my magic comes from. Just the little kiddos. I love little kiddos. I love doing parties. I love the story times and just going to the park and taking pictures and just having all these little eyeballs like, Mama, fairy. So yeah, that is a fairy instead of going, yeah, okay, come over here.
Right? Oh, that's so sweet. So God King Zool, hi, is in the chat and he says he agrees 100% with what you just said. Um, children really, they're like just little balls of fun. They radiate tons of energy, excitement. I've worked with kids in my profession in the past. And it's just like when you're able to get a whole class together and like if you count to three or you clap your hands in a pattern and they all like, come in together and they're like, it's amazing. So I would 100% agree with that as well. Kids are awesome. Now, so was there ever a moment in your princess journey that you knew that this was the very reason that you put so much time, so much effort into what you do?
There are a few stories. Like I think one of my favorites though is that when I got my very first deluxe package, because I was doing it on my own, and I had what I called a deluxe package for Princess Tiana. And we were in all my friends, we were still young enough so my friends would come with me, and we're in a park and we're doing the party for another group of kids. Mm-hmm. And two other children were at a different party and they came over and said, can we play? And I wasn't sure because I knew they weren't part of our group. So I said, would you ask the mom if you can play and if that's fine with me? Because I wasn't giving out anything. There wasn't anything they could take. We were just playing games and doing things. So the mom said that was fine. We played games and everything. And then it was time for me to go. And there were two kids. It was an older sister and a younger boy. And he might have been 3 or 4. And you could tell they were in a situation where they were in the kind of home life that wasn't always so very magical. But the sister was very, very adamant, like, I want my brother to be able to play this. I said, okay, let's play. I want to play this. I said, okay, let's play. And I said, okay, well, I have to go. And most of the other kids from the party were dealing with cake. And these two kids, God bless them, they weren't going to ask for cake, but they just wanted to play with us. Aww. So when the kids were getting cake, I was leaving and they were going to leave too. But the sister kind of looked at me and they kind of were blocking my path. I said, well, I'm going to leave. It's okay. I'll see you next time maybe. And I'm young. I'm just on my first party, so I'm younger and I don't know exactly what to say to kind of get around them. And the sister goes, I'd like a hug. And I said, oh. And then I gave her a hug. But when I gave the little boy a hug, he kind of just like, you know how you feel that kind of release of like, this is the best thing ever? I wanted to cry. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. That was when I knew that was what I was supposed to be doing. Like, this little boy was just like, it's a real princess. She's touching me. I met a real princess today. He's 3. He might never see that anywhere ever again. I'm glad his parents took him to the park that day, but he had never seen anything like that. And the girl was like, she's tough because she's seen it all. She's seen her parents. She's seen whatever she's seen.
Exactly.
That little boy was, and he needed somebody to hold him. And that was like, yeah, this is important. What I do is important. What I provide for kids is important. Like, these kids need to see that we are out there. We're in our color. Like, these are little Black kids. Like, there are princesses for us, and they love us. And we can have fantasies too. We can have happily ever after too. What I do is important. And that was one of my favorite stories. I did cry though. I did. This day I'm like, oh, I hope that little boy does something great. And I'm sure he did. Yes. But you could tell they didn't have a lot. They didn't have a lot of fantasy situations. I'm pretty sure nobody was going to have a princess come to their house and do anything for them. But they got to see me that day. And I took the time, even though I was leaving, just give it a little extra love. And I got all of it back, like tenfold. So that's when I knew what I do is important. It's not just some silly, oh, they just dress up and get money. No, I love the kids. I love what I do. I like making magic. I like that they give it everything I give, I get right back. I love that. That's important. What I do is important.
Ah, you made me tear up.
Yeah.
That was really,
It was a very powerful moment. It really
it
was.
really is. It's like, I think, like you said briefly, there's people out there that will sort of demean what you and others do in the realm of fantasy and art and, I guess you could say cosplay or dressing up, or they will demean it because they see it as, I guess they don't understand, but the purpose is way deeper than that. It's
Yeah.
way deeper than that. And I'm really honored that you even shared that story. That made me tear up. I was thinking, after COVID is over, I wanted to go in the hospitals and do something like that. Maybe we can team up later. We could talk about it because
Yes,
that would be
yes.
awesome.
I've seen it done. Like, and I think what's really sad, and I'll be totally honest, full transparency. I have seen princesses do that. They'll go and they spend time, and they're honest. They're like, they don't say how long they're going to stay because you never know how long a kid will need you. But the hardest thing for me is you have to be stronger than they are.
Oh
And
God.
sometimes I'll see it and I'll immediately start to cry because I feel bad. But you've got to be strong. You've got to go in there and smile and like everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And like, I'm just watching the video of these princesses who go volunteer their time. And I immediately start crying right away. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to go in there and go, just
No, I wouldn't be.
you've got to strengthen yourself up first. And so maybe like group homes might be a better start.
True. Very true. I think
Just
about
to
that.
give you, yeah, because it's really hard. But it's such a beautiful thing that you do. You don't understand. Some people forget that being juvenile or childish is important for children.
Yes.
So they need to be able to be children. Stop trying to make them grow up so quickly. If they don't have
Yes.
imagination, if they don't believe in the impossible, what's the next invention going to be? What's the next big thing going to be? If you tell kids they can't do thus and so, then they're never going to believe that the flying cars can happen. They're not going to believe that, the next big thing can happen. It all starts from imagination. Going back to my mom, I told my mom that I wanted to be magic when I was very young. And she goes, well, you are magic. And I looked at her like, because as kids, we know what magic is. And she goes, well, what do you mean that magic is? If you don't think I'm telling the truth, what do you think magic is? I said, well, I want to wave my fingers and stuff happens. And she said, be specific. And I said, oh, well, I want to wave my fingers and lights come on. And she said, okay, well, think about how that could happen. And as a kid, I'm sitting there going, but mom, but she never discouraged me. And now if you go to like raves and stuff, people have stuff on their fingers and they wave them and the little LED lights come on. That
True.
is so magic. That is a thing. Somebody took the time to engineer that kind of magic. Science magic, same thing sometimes. If you don't
True.
imagine it though, if you don't imagine it, you believe it can't happen, then what's the point? You have to be able to teach those kids that believing in things and having imagination is important. Because if you tell them all these things don't exist and it's not real, then they're just going to be trapped in this little box and be miserable that they think nothing else can happen. If you live on the block all your life and you never drive outside the block, you won't believe that you can get off the block.
True.
You gotta, how your mind should be able to go beyond that. Because if you want your kids to grow and succeed, you've got to tell them anything is possible. You've got to believe it and you've got to know that it's true. So all this is important.
100%. Oh my gosh. Your experience is like very touching. 100%. I'm a very emotional person, so I'm going to take what you said about starting in nursing homes first, because children, I mean, I'm a mom, so children are children. And I'll start small. Yeah, that's tough. But speaking of children, I want to know, do you ever inspire your child with what you do?
All the time. Like, I don't mean that I inspire her, but I mean, I don't push her, but I never tell her that what I do isn't real. And she always tells me, but mom, it's a costume or this, that. And when she was younger, she was more into it. But even now, like she'll push back with some reality things. Like she won't say it's not real, but I always tell her, mommy's a fairy, you know that. And sometimes I'll tell her, stop that, you're a princess. And she goes, I don't want to be a princess. And I don't have to be a princess like mommy because the dresses and things. She goes, they're itchy. I said, okay, you don't have to be a princess in a big dress. Ever see Xena? And she looks at me like, who?
Oh,
But
Zena.
you
Yeah.
know, there's you don't have to be a
Princess.
puffy dress for a princess. You can be Wonder Woman. You can be a ninja. She likes karate, so I'm like, you can be a ninja princess. But because mommy's a princess, that's who you are as well. So I always want you to carry yourself a certain way, and I don't want you to demean yourself, and I don't want you to put yourself in a situation that you're going to get in any trouble, because you should think of yourself a little higher, not better, but just know that you can do better. Know that you can be better. Know that you can do anything, whatever you want to do. Um, one of the coolest things to see, and my mom did the same thing. Like some of the coolest things to do is you put her in things, you put your kids in things that they normally wouldn't do, and she fought against a lot. Like we put her in a music class, and she just goes, and now she's like, okay, try
Oh,
different. And if it turns out you don't like it, we won't push you forever. But I want you to try these things for a good amount of time to get good enough at it so you can say, okay, I'm good at it and I still don't like it. All right, let's try something else. And I think her creativity comes out in artwork. She loves to draw, and she's always drawing things that semi-exist, like things she's seen on TV, and then with her own spin. So she's always drawing things that don't exist. I love that. And then she loves Legos, and she's always doing things that don't exist. So she's like, this is my magic, was it Magic Castle? She has a mansion she's building with her and her two friends, and it's got all these special rooms. I go, where's mommy's room? She goes, no parents.
oh, okay. Okay.
Encanto, and I go, where's Encanto? The whole family was there. She goes, no, this is not Encanto. This is no rules here.
That was such a
So
good, by the way, Encanto.
that she likes to make things and to make things from nothing. So I think that's how I've inspired her, just to be more, just to create whatever you want to. No, there's no rules, no holds barred. Just create. If I could just keep her from writing on the wall.
I was guilty of that as a kid as well, and my oldest does it perfectly, just as I did. So I can't even say anything. I can't. No matter how much I buy, art wise, paper, different things, canvas. I mean, she wants to write on everything. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we just like let it go.
Sometimes I have to let it go. I saw a post. I knew who the person was, but recently I saw a post that said, my sister used to draw on the walls when she was 6, but nobody stopped her, and now she's 12, and this is what she did. And they showed the wall, and there was a mural.
Wow.
And then I'm going, supposed to not stop her from drawing on the wall. Like, it's hard because like, no, don't do that. But it's not like, tagging or anything. She's literally trying to make something.
Oh, cool.
And so it's hard not to the children. And even when, and what the funniest part is? She wants to draw on the wall. When I drew paper, when I put box paper up there, so I could say, draw on the paper. Here, the paper's on the wall now. She kind of did it, but she didn't really want to. You take the paper off, then she goes nuts. And I'm like, she wants something permanent. And I'm going,
that's her canvas.
But that's her thing.
Response, yeah. That's really cool. Creativity does not limit at age. A lot of children in their early years show tons of signs of creativity, myself included, as well as my kids and your daughter, you as well. I mean, I think it's really, really important when you said about, bringing that magic to children just as much as they bring that to you, as an adult. It's important. So I'm going to toughen up so that I can go in these hospitals, after everything is calmed down and just give them love and support. And I don't know, but we can talk about that later because I'm really, really serious about that. I would love to do something like that.
It'd be
But
awesome, and they'd love to
yes.
have you. All you do is call and say you want to volunteer. They're like, come, and they ask when your schedule is. They're like, please come.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna definitely make a note of that. But my next question is, how do you continue to push yourself? Whether that may be like during times of like you needing recharging, or maybe you're stuck in a rut.
Um, Various things. I think the most important thing is I have to remind myself that I don't know if it's a people thing or just a Gemini thing, but I like to be by myself,
Yes.
but not for very long because I love the kiddos. And
Mhm.
so whenever I start getting like too like depressed or something, it's like you need to get dressed and you need to go outside. You don't need
Mhm.
to have the party to do it. Go outside, walk around the block, because I guarantee you you're going to hear some kid at some point, "Mommy, look a fairy," or "Ah," or anything, because I need that. Most people are we're social animals, and fairies are the same. We need to be around people as much as sometimes we need our own space. But whenever you feel down and you feel like there's nothing worth anything, take a shower, put on your favorite, go to the park right after school. Just go. And if you're just going to take a couple of pictures, I guarantee you'll be there for an hour, because there's going to be a kid that runs up, "Hi, are you a fairy?" And you're going to, it snaps on. "Yes, of course I am." "Do you believe in fairies?" "Of course you do, because you can see me." Because if you didn't see me, I know you wouldn't believe me. You know, those adults over there, they can't even see me. They can't? No, because they don't believe it. And then you're back, just
Yeah.
like that. And sometimes it can be really hard to get yourself out of that, because I work from home. So
Mhm.
sometimes I work in bed. Sometimes I work in the chair that's uncomfortable, on the couch, and sometimes it's hard to get out of the sweatpants and get up and go out. And but if you just push yourself a little bit, think of mom, and think of what mom went through, or whoever that was in your life, and you
Mhm.
put a little something on, you go out, it'll that's all you need, is a little bit of encouragement from the universe, and the universe will get you whatever you put out there. So if you
So
put on
true.
your fairy costume, someone will notice. Sometimes I used to dress um, between COVID. I gotta check in because they just took some of the restrictions out here.
Mhm.
So I was doing every Wednesday. I would go as Princess Indigo to read stories to kindergartners. That a friend of mine, she's got a kindergarten. It's so cute. And so the problem with that is I also have to pick my daughter up from school.
Yeah.
So I
Oh.
do that, and then I don't have time to go home and change. And I could change in the car, but why? So I would go dressed like this, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. People go, "Oh my goodness, where are you? Whose kid are you
Oh.
picking up? Whose birthday?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I just read for the kids." And even those little bits of, from other people's past life, it just makes you feel better. And sometimes you just got to get out there. And especially when you think, "Oh, I don't want to be around people. I just want to be alone," and it
Yeah.
starts feeling like a dark thing. You need people. That's your mind playing tricks on you. You actually do need them. You don't have to go out and have a party and go have fun. If this is what you do, put it on, go to the park, go to the grocery store. That's fun.
We have 10 people. We have 11 people watching. Hi. Oh my gosh, these numbers are going up. So one person said her name is Alika. Hi, Alika Jones. Um,
Hi.
they said, "This is my childhood dream come true to life. I used
Oh,
to think I couldn't be a fairy because I was Black. Watching y'all is like a hug to my inner child."
let me tell you, I'm right there with you, girl, because I used to think that, you watch all the Disney films. Where are all the black ones? Where are the ones with the wings with the brown skin? And my mom told me, she goes, "You could be whatever you want." So when we were playing princesses at school in about maybe sixth grade, I said, "I'm going to be the princess, or I'm going to be the fairy." And black girls would tell me, "Oh, you can't do that because there are no black fairies. You can't do that because there are no black princesses." They didn't mean it disparagingly, but because, like you said, we didn't see them, they actually believed we couldn't even play the part at school because they didn't see them anywhere. That's another reason why this is so important, because yes, you can play that part. Yes, you can be that. And then luckily I had my mom to tell me you could be whatever you want. So my response was always, I'm going to be the princess because I can be whatever I want. So I didn't have that issue, but it was really hard though, because it did come up a lot just in kid play that your own peers would tell you you couldn't do something because it wasn't for you. And I said, no, I love this too much for it not to be for me. It's for me. I'm going to do this. But I totally feel you, sweetheart. I was there. I was there. Oh, and if I think it was last year. Was last year the first Black Fae Day?
Oh, yes, it was. It was.
I didn't go anywhere, but I posted and I
Same.
was in my chair for 4 hours crying because I had found my tribe. Like, I did not know there were so many others. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this.
Yes.
I was the most excited I've been in years because, you know, the QUC, but Black Fae changed everything. That was just last year changed. And I'm in my 40s. So so it took a long time to get there. It took a long time to get there. I'm so glad to see so many of us and just being ourselves, because that's who we are. And you know, you had people tell you, oh, you can't. Yes, you can. That's who you are. Your skin color makes all the difference for us because we didn't see it, but it doesn't really make a difference. If you're a fairy, you're a fairy. And that's who you are. If you're a fairy, magical creature, satyr, mermaid, witch, whatever that is, they come in all colors. You can't tell me magical colors only come in one color. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
I feel that comment. I'm glad she posted. I'm glad she's here.
She said that she's literally at work crying. Thank you both so much. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Stop. For real. I have glitter. I mean, these little things that are going to fall off if I keep tearing up.
All right. That's why I'm like,
this is going to make me cry because it's. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first of all, I am so happy that y'all are in the chat. It's like the people watching are like, it'll go up to like 7, 10, 11. Like people are in and out. So thank y'all so much for watching. Oh, she says, exactly. I love this so much. I really like, last year really was the first Black Fae Day officially. I would just want to say this, like, I am so happy that we're all getting connected 100% because it is hard to find people that are into the things that you are into, that love the concepts of life and art, like you do as well. So they're going to be having an event. I have to look at the details, I think in May. But yeah, so I can post that too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think in Atlanta, I think I
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
saw something there. Yeah.
Let's see, but you can check out their Instagram, Miss Alika. Let's see, it's called the Black Fae Day Official. This is what it looks like. I don't even know if you can see that. I'm so sorry, but you can go on their Instagram and they'll have more information about it. Oh my gosh.
It'll be the best thing you ever found, man. There's like so many. And I had no idea. I thought it was a few here and there, you know, your friends you talk to, but there's a bunch of us, and it's so nice to know that we're here and there's a safe space for us where we can be Black and be Fae and be magical and not have to worry about anybody saying boo about it, you know.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, there are no, come on. Where do you think we came from?
Like, I don't know. I like to think of it as, you know, melanin pretty much, I guess, radiates that sunlight. That's magic in itself. I mean, I don't know. That sounds pretty magic right off. So, I mean, this is very fitting. So wow, that was so emotional, but that was so awesome. I'm gonna post, there are other events, by the way. There's a Afro mermaid community. There is Black Fade community. There is another Fairyscape, which I'm going to be a part of this year. We have to travel to Baltimore. So that's going to be exciting. And then I heard of another Black Fade picnic that's going to be in Baltimore, Maryland, I think too. But what I can do is post it so that everyone can see it. Hi, everybody. I see more people entering the chat. Okay. Yeah, she'll definitely into this afterwards. She's been craving that sort of community. Same. So it's out there. I'm gonna post all the information. So I'm really excited. Okay. So my next question. Who do you have? Well, you actually said something about this earlier. You touched on it, but I'm still going to ask you, who do you have supporting you in this creative journey of yours currently? Is there anything that you would actually love to tell them directly, if you had the chance to?
To all of
Oh no, wait.
sorry, my phone was ringing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want to just say thank you, and you guys know who you are. My mom always supported me, always, always. The funniest thing is when she asked me when I was in my teen years and I didn't think I wanted to go to college. I ended up going to a trade school for graphic design, but I didn't want to go to college for 4 years. And she said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a princess. And she kind of like cringed because, you know, if your daughter says she wants to be a princess, you think, oh, you want someone to rescue you, to pay for all your stuff and do this. And I said, so she asked me, what do you mean? And I said, oh, I want to do parties for kids. And she says, oh, okay, that's okay then. So you're not just waiting for someone to, I said, no, I want to do parties for kids. But in the beginning, when I started, I was very, very nervous and I didn't do it right away. I just kind of thought that's what I wanted to do. And I had a friend who wanted a princess to come to her kid's party. And the princess she hired, she didn't like if she wanted a fairy. And so I thought she wanted to borrow my costumes. So I brought my costumes and the girl goes, no, you misunderstand. I want you to come as a fairy. And at the time I'm thinking, I'm not an actress. I don't know anything about kids. I don't know. She goes, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You dress up all the time, right? I said, yeah, but she goes, okay, then I want you to come. Here's the date and I'll pay you. And I didn't know, I couldn't say no. So I was there and I'm in the car. My 3 friends had brought me. I didn't drive at the time. And we're in the car waiting for my entrance. And she says, I said, I'm really nervous. And they said, why? I said, well, what if the kids don't like me? And they're going, but you look like you.
Yeah.
And that made me cry because I'm dressed like this. And they say, and my friends know me enough to know that I love this. And they're like, but you look like you do all the time. Just be you. And I'll be honest also, the first party I did was not for a group of Black kids. It was a group for Latino children because my friends, I have Latino friends, and this was a Latino party. And so I'm thinking, what if they see my brown? I was really worried if they saw brown skin and what would they think? And I didn't know. I walked in there and all of them are just, and then all the fear was all of it was gone. I was worried about nothing. So anybody out there who wants to do this, who thinks, oh, what if they don't want a Black princess? Those children just want magic. They don't see color like adults might see color. They don't. They are taught those things.
True.
So when as soon as they see you, they know whatever was in their heart was real. I come in there, I have brown skin, it was always brown. I had wings on, I had a purple dress, and they go, a fairy. That's all they saw was a fairy. They didn't see anything else. They didn't care about anything else. And I want to thank all my friends who supported me in the beginning, because in the beginning I had like a group of like 6 people at a time because I didn't drive. I didn't feel safe. You know, I'm like, come with me. And so for all those who in the very beginning who got me to do this, thank you so much. The people who told me stop doing it for free, thank you so much.
100%.
Right? Because like, oh, I'll just do it. No, do it. Your time is worth something. We know you love what you do, but that needs to be able to support your life as well. So take the money. You're not asking for anything. You're not asking for handouts. Your time is valuable. Your magic is valuable. They will pay for it, and it is worth it. So you don't have to do that for free. For sometimes, yes. When you want to give back, yes, of course. But
Yes,
don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's for exposure. No, it's not. Exposure will not go to the grocery store and pay for anything for you. It's money.
100%.
So I want to thank all of those who, especially in the beginning, who are just like, you can do this. We're here for you whenever you need. Thank you for all my friends. If I have to list names, Lavon, first Tinkerbell party, thank you. Anna, Rocio, Celine, Sonia, Tanya, I love you. All of you guys, you know who you are. Camila, if I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry. All of you guys, you know who you are. Thank you.
That was so sweet. There's 10 people watching. Thank y'all for watching. So 100% with the person that explained to you not to do it for free. That's something that I feel like I can resonate with, because I would do people's makeup for free and do services for them, and it was just what it was. So I think knowing your worth,
Yeah.
when it does come to your craft, is 100, like, it's fun, it's beautiful, it's vibrant, but also it costs money to do
Yes,
what you're doing. Your wings, your beautiful elegant dress that looks literally like a true princess gown. I mean, all of your accessory that goes into it, and I mean, that costs money and it costs time to put it together. And yes, you're putting yourself on display so that you can have people to enjoy their time at their parties, but also you deserve it. So I did want to know if maybe we wanted to contribute to you financially online. How could we send you support? Is it through Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, or PayPal?
I do use PayPal. My email is princess
Okay.
underscore indigo, INDIGO at yahoo.com. And I also have Cash App, and the Cash App is Indigo, INDIGO Palace. So it's Indigo Palace for Cash App. I don't have Venmo because it doesn't work with my bank for whatever reason. Fairy
Okay.
things, I tell you.
Let me connect your PayPal here. Okay. And your Venmo, because I don't think I got that information before, but I'm going to put it in the chat.
It might be, it should be on my Instagram as well. The PayPal, at the email address, and the Cash App.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Indigo Palace for the Cash App, but for PayPal, it's my whole email address, and that's princess underscore indigo at yahoo.com.
$.
And that's like the email I will never change. It's like I'll be doing, unmagical business things, and maybe send you an email. Yes, it's princess underscore indigo. And they just start laughing. I'm like, I've had it for over 20 years. I'm not changing it.
Like, that's totally fine. Plus, it's what you do. It's who you are. So
yeah, it's what I do.
So I did put your Cash App and your PayPal, and then your Instagram and your Facebook link is on there as well as your website. You have an actual website. If y'all are interested in, wait, are you taking in-person parties currently?
I do. I have a couple lined up. I don't do them as often. I'm based in California, Los Angeles, California. So I do in-person parties. I try to keep them limited to the number of people that are there. 10 kids is plenty. And and that was even before COVID. 10 kids is plenty. I want to make sure I have enough time to give personal interaction with all of the kids that are there. I do arts and crafts, and parties are usually from 1 to 2 hour visit, because the dress and the wings do get very heavy after 2 hours.
True. Everything just is like weighing on you. So if y'all are interested in scheduling, her website is in the description. It should be in the description. I did do all that beforehand, but if it's not, due to weird technical difficulties, which I'm still trying to figure out the whole live thing, I can post it again. It's like It's like I think I'm doing something, but then I'm not doing it. So I don't know. I'm gonna maybe take a class just to make sure everything is perfected. But let's see. So this question came from my heart. So as a child, I personally feel like, princesses were always really graceful and elegant. And if there's any like tips that you could give me to become more like princess like, since I am but a wood dweller and I'm very clunky and I'm very just I have roots on my feet, so it's not as graceful as I would like to be. But what are just some little tips that I could take with me?
Oh, well, I find that the whatever you're wearing,
Mhm.
whether it's a princess dress or a fairy dress, whatever you wear is going to give the impression of who you are. So the outfit will do most of the work for you. Even if it's not the most expensive princess dress, the most expensive fairy dress, it's going to do most of the work for you. What I find, because sometimes, I mean, I have a heavy step. I'm very tall, so I don't wear heels a lot. You do not have to wear heels to be graceful. And I'll tell you this as well, if you're going to wear a longer dress, if you can figure out how to get it to get just this much off the floor, you won't trip on it.
Mhm.
And um, if there's no shame in holding your dress up. The
Okay.
biggest thing I had a problem with in the beginning was tripping. So when you hold your dress up and you see other girls, that hold them up, that's important. It's to keep you from tripping on your face. But when
Oh,
you're holding your dress, you don't have to have your little pinky up, but I do because it's a habit. But
elegant.
just doing that makes you look more graceful. Like, oh, the princess is holding her dress, and all you're doing is making sure you don't fall.
Oh my
And
God.
that it keeps you from stumbling and falling. It really does. I have also started studying some of the princess moves at Disneyland, and I think there might be 6 or 7. If you just watch videos of the girls on the float, just 6 or 7 waves, things that they do every single, because all so when everybody else is dancing and doing the moving, you might think they don't move very much. All arms. Watch the videos and just it's 6 or 7 different moves. Little princess at the party, you got it down. It's little things. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to change who you are. It's just a little bit of practice. Don't trip over your dress and a special wave. Perfect.
I'll practice that in the mirror.
Oh, thank you too. Sending me sending me a little love. Thank you very much. I received that. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you for sending her support. That's so awesome. Okay, we have 13 people. Awesome. Everyone's like coming in and out. That is so awesome. So it is almost time. We have about, I think, 10 more minutes. So I do quickly want to ask you if there are any projects that you're going to be working on in the future that we can look forward to. And if so, can you like sneak us in on what that might be?
We've got Easter's coming up, and so I have this really funny thing that I've been booked for, and I call it funny because I don't. Okay, so Easter's coming, and the
Mhm.
park wanted to do something, so they decided to do a roller skate party. I do roller skate, but there's going to be glow in the dark roller skate, and then somehow Easter, and they invited me to be the Easter spring favorite. I'm trying to come up with a really cool costume for that, so that's in the works. I have everything I need here. It's about coming together and making an Easter spring fairy on roller skates. It can't be too long a dress because I'll slide on. You don't want to trip over your skates. But that'll be the next big coming up. I'm also going to be Barbie for a birthday party very soon. So I'm gonna have my bright pink dress for that one. And I have 4 fiancés. It's time
Wow.
for a new one. Yes, I know.
Wow.
I'm gonna make or alter that I haven't finished altering in a long time. So I'm gonna so this summer there should be a brand new Princess Tiana dress to debut. It'll look a lot like the other one, but it'll also be slightly different. It's going to be a nice darker green, so it'll show up in the pictures. My
Mhm.
favorite Tiana dress is my oldest one, but and it's a nice like seafoam green, but a lot of times in pictures it bleaches out and it goes white, so you can't really see the green.
Oh,
So as
okay.
much as I love it, as much as it fits perfectly, it's been through, and this is why I love this dress. My first had my baby, I was a lot bigger, and I found this dress, and I fell in love with it because I was afraid to do parties as a bigger person. I figured what princess is bigger, and my girlfriend said, no, I don't condone violence, but she's like, I will beat you up. She's like, you put that dress on and go out there. Those kids don't care, and they
They
don't.
don't.
Again,
They
they don't
accept
see all the flaws you perceive as flaws. They're not flaws. It's just who you are. And if that's who you are, put the dress on and go out there. They will love to see you, especially girls about your size who are looking like, I can be a princess. Yes, mama, you can be a princess too.
that.
There's nothing saying you have to be any certain size to be anything. You go out
Exactly.
there and put that dress on. So that dress has been with me since my daughter was born. I've taken it in, I've let it out, I've taken it in again. And so it's hard for me to not wear that dress because I feel as most like Tiana in that dress. But the pictures, I need pictures that show the green. So I'm going to make finally 2021, finally going, is it 2022? What year is this?
Oh, it is 20. And I just like was listening, like, yeah, 2021.
Darn you, COVID, you made me lose track of time. But
Same.
a new dress this year, and so I'll have a new dress. So that's to look forward. That's my biggest project so far because I got to make it by the summer. That's when I have my most of the parties to do. So I'll have a new dress, and I also have, I don't know, they came out smaller than I thought, but I'm working on a new pair of wings.
So
So I
cute.
don't know. Right, like I'm not sure if they're gonna stand up to the test,
Oh
but
my
they're so teeny.
gosh.
And so my daughter goes, "Those are teeny. Are those for me?" I'm
Oh,
going, yes,
possibly.
because I don't want her, but I want her so much to be a fairy all the time.
That is adorable. Now, are you thinking about opening a shop up with wings and everything?
That is the dream, is not just the shop, because craft wise, this took me a long, long time. The dream
Okay.
is to have a palace. I've called myself Princess Indigo's Palace for the longest time without having any brick and mortar. I just go to your house. But I want brick and mortar. I want it in LA where we don't have to drive to Anaheim to see a princess. And I do want most of our princesses to be princesses of color. We will hire anyone. We're not discriminatory, but I want in the city where you live, you can go to a place and see princesses. You have a party, there will be princesses there for you. They're not going to all be Disney princesses. There'll be princesses from stories I may write, people may write, or just whatever you want to match your party. If your princess, if your little girl loves blue, yeah, we got a blue princess. We'll get the dress out for you. She'll come out and she's going to look just like your little girl with her brown skin. And
Wow.
that's what I really want. I want a palace where you can have birthday parties for kids, tea parties, and all that kind of stuff for the little girls, so that they know it's for you too. Nobody nobody can tell you you can't have that. You can have happy endings too. You can have a
Oh,
princess too. You can be a princess. You are a princess, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. No one. And that's what I really want. So eventually I'll be selling these, but it's
awesome.
hard to let go once you make one.
Yeah.
This one's pretty old too. I love this.
Oh, it
Um,
looks
but
perfect.
I
Like,
do like to sell the little crafts and stuff.
mhm. Welcome.
But in the end, what I really, really want is the palace.
That is
That'll
an
be that's a long way. It might be a little ways away. I won't say a long ways. It might be a little ways away, but it's always been my dream to have something like that for the girls. That they don't have to drive for hours. Like we have to drive for hours to find something nice for our girls to do. Let's bring it in the city. And it's hard because everything out here is so expensive because it's LA. But
yeah.
I want it's gonna happen. I don't know how, but it's gonna happen. So if in the end, if I don't actually have the brick and mortar, I'll probably be doing less of my own going out and doing parties and maybe hiring girls to do that, and I'll be in charge of everything. So we can make sure more of the girls, more of our people know that this is out there for them,
Mhm.
and they can have someone they can go to where they can hire quality princesses of color to come
Yes.
and them stories and do balloons and face painting and whatever that is. So that might become before the actual palace itself, but those are the big goals.
That sounds awesome. I would love to be able to support you in that. Um, so I can bounce ideas off of you later and on helping you get to that level, because I would want to work as well, like just maybe even come in for a summer. The girls and I could do that and help you with anything behind the scenes. That sounds awesome. What you do is like radiate love. And so that would be awesome to be able to like help you in doing that for other people, especially the brown princesses. Oh my gosh. So that's awesome. I just made a new fairy friend, y'all. I really did. I'm so excited.
Yes, indeed.
Yay. I'm gonna let you fly off because I know that you're probably late for a ball or something great like that. But I really, really appreciate the love and the flowers and the wings and everything that you radiated today. And I will be speaking to you soon. Oh my gosh. Thanks, everybody. There's 9 people watching. Thanks, y'all. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you really soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.